Triple Double Moats. I was wondering if you had any good Troy Polamalu stories you could share with us. Thanks. Love the show.
No, respect, man. No, I always say, man, my favorite Troy story is the first time I met Troy. Solely because, man, I remember the thoughts going through my head as I'm approaching him, for our first OTA walkthrough practice. And in my mind, I'm like, bro, this is Troy Polamalu.
Little nervous, little butterflies at all in the stomach?
So put it like this. I won't say butterflies, but it was very similar to the feeling I had when I first met James Harrison. First time I ever saw James Harrison in the locker room. This is the day he was actually announcing his retirement. And I remember being like super excited to like finally get a chance to like see him in person and say something to him. And I clammed up, man. He was, fresh out the shower. He was all rocked up and he had that look on his face. And because I had never met him before, I was like, bro, I ain't finna walk up on that man like that. He trying to talk to nobody right now. And I kind of walked away and I was a little sad about it. Like, dang, bro. Now, I ain't know a couple weeks later he was going to come out of retirement, be my teammate. Then we get 4 years together. So everything worked out. But fast forward we get to Troy and I'm thinking similar things. I'm like, all right, Troy Polamalu, man, it's the guy, It's one of the ones. And we walk on that field. I'm just like, bro, let me go introduce myself just to, so I can see professional. But in your mind, you got to be cool about it too, because you're the new kid. You know how it is, new kid at school. Yeah, new kid, first day of school, and I'm coming from the other school where I done been over here. We played against your school, so we know each other. But yeah, I was a little nervous. And right when I'm about to go up and introduce myself, he's like, "Hey, man, Arthemos, I'm Troy Polamalu." Da da da. I'm just like, bro, what do you mean you know me? You're saying my name. You're introducing yourself to me. Like, bro, you're Troy Polamalu, baby Jesus, man, Mr. Head and Shoulders. You play defense and have commercials where they show your face. Think about that, man. Back then, no person on defense had no commercials, man. But yeah, man, I was just always like blown away about how humble he was just in that sense, man. But then after that, man, there's plenty of other stories. Another one of my favorites, TG's talked about it a couple of times as well. We in that day going preseason game versus Philly. And Dick LeBeau is upset about the way we're playing out there, and they're hitting us with some hurry up tempo.
Who was that against?
Was
Vic on the team still?
No Vic. Vic was gone. It might have been Foles, because this is when Chip Kelly was doing the super hurry up, like rapid fire, 90 plays in a game, and this is before we really implemented like hand signals and just calling it in. Like on the fly, just do the audibles and stuff. In fact, because of that game, that's what transpired after that. But because of how bad we were playing to start the game out, Troy on the sideline loses it. He's like blacking out. Man, this the Steelers. Man, we the Steelers, bro. It's prize. Like, he's like going rip it up.
Preseason game.
Preseason game, bro. Preseason game. And never forget, TG, when we call TG next week, man, he can confirm the same story. TG sitting on this day on bench, Troy that took the helmet, or it wasn't his helmet, he grabbed somebody's helmet. Because he's like almost in tears. Preseason, I promise you, in tears. Hair down.
He saw the Steeler way.
And he's like, bro, we the Steeler. We like, bro, Troy never gets like this. And he takes the helmet, he grabs the helmet, he's about to sling this joint. And TG will confirm. TG was sitting right in front. Unfortunately, he almost got killed. Luckily, Troy didn't release it, but if he would have, it would have smashed TG right in the face, bro. TG tells us all the time, he's like, bro, I saw my light flash from my eyes. And we all behind Troy, like, but he was just so passionate about football. We're like, bro, this is a preseason, the second preseason game at that, bro. We in Philly, like, what you talking? Like, come on, bro. Before the game, we was over here trying to figure out what we was going to eat afterwards. We hit Del Frisco's, we tried to go this, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. But no. Troy flipped. It was like, bro, for a preseason game. But from then on, it was like a certain, like, we understood what he was trying to communicate to us because we were a younger group then. 2014, you still had, obviously, Ike, you still had Troy, but Debo came back, I think it was like week 3 or week 4. Law Dog was still young. That was going to be his first time really being the guy on the inside. We had Shazier starting young. Cam, I think, was in his second year. Yeah, because he drafted 13. So, yeah, that was in his second year. So, yeah, it wasn't a lot. I think Big Steve McClendon might have been one of the older dudes on our team back then.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you catch what I'm saying, right? Cortez Allen had just got his check. And that was like his first opportunity to get paid. So, he was still young. Yeah. So, it was a young team, man. But
what happened to him?
Knees, man.
Because I can't remember. He was kind of good, and then
bro.
He just disappeared.
Yeah, literally, he gets paid the day before our opener against Cleveland, and from then on, man, like his knees just started deteriorating bad on him, bro. Cartilage and stuff like that, man.
Keenan Lewis wasn't bad either. He
Yeah.
ended up signing with the Saints.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think that's what it was.
they would
Was it-
talk
was
about
it
it. Yeah,
be-
he
between
went
those
there,
two?
and then because when I came here, they would talk about Keenan leaving. Yeah,
He started sucking with the Saints though. It didn't work
Yeah.
out for him there.
yeah. But Cortez, man, like they liked him a lot. Like I said, I never saw him healthy. You know what I mean, on like that level. So yeah, my vision of him was very different. Yeah,
Yeah, it was very brief with him.
yeah.
Good
But that was
story,
cool though, bro. But yeah, shout out to Troy, man. Though, like, I always think of those like off the top of my head, man. But it's a lot, man. Anybody that's had the opportunity to be around Troy, man, he's just an awesome dude, man. Genuine as heck, but passionate when it comes to football. Like I said, this is a Super Bowl champ, defensive player of the year, arguably one of the greatest safeties to ever play this game, crying as he's reaming us out for the second preseason game in the final year of his playing career. Remember that he retired after that year. Think about that, bro. I was like, I couldn't imagine at that stage. Yo, you didn't even have to play the game. You didn't play the game. You that hot. Just like, yo, I couldn't, like, in my mind, I'm like, I can't get that hot if I ain't even, it's preseason. Like, bro, we in tennis shoes, man. Like, hey, Deke, get back out there, get a rep, bro.
It's hard for me to believe we couldn't have had Polamalu for another year or two, given
We
what our safety
could've.
situation was like after he retired.
We could have, but we didn't know it was going to turn into what it turned into when he, like, afterwards. The whole thought process was Shamarko Thomas, who we drafted. I think we moved up to get him. That was supposed to be the guy that was going to come in and be the replacement. He would follow him around, do everything. Love Shamarko. He from the 7-5, you know what we were talking about. But unfortunately, man, it was just a difference, man. And that's the thing we always say. It's like, man, you can have every intangible because he was strong as heck, fast as heck, athletic as heck, could check off everything in the classroom. But it's just different for some people when you put them out there on that field, man. And all it takes is a couple times of you not making that play. And once that confidence get questionable, it's a wrap. And for him, unfortunately, man, you replacing the GOAT. You know, it's like replacing Seven. Yeah, you don't just walk behind that. Nah. So for him, I think that was a little bit much for him, man. But yeah.
Do you think Polamalu would have been willing to give up some of his power in the defense and also, I guess, even take a pay cut
So
to
put it like this.
get those extra couple years?
I don't think it was necessarily him and his willingness to give up power because the way that I viewed it as his teammate, I didn't think that he looked at it as, oh, I'm taking advantage or I'm taking this power. When we say Troy knows what he's talking about football-wise, he could literally, it's like, yo, we're in cover 3, but he knows that you're the curl flat defender over there. So instead of you showing over there, he's like, I'm going to take that, but I'm going to play on this side of the field. So that way this quarterback doesn't see anybody over there. And he's going to think it's cover 2 because it's a squat corner over here. And he's going to think he has that honey hole, but I'm Troy Polamalu and I'm fast enough to go from front side edge showing blitz to backside half of the field. And I'm going to get this interception. The thing was, Troy could do that. So when Troy would be out there, you literally would hear him talking. He's like, yo, Mo, you go take the hook. I'm going here. Or, hey, Debo, you go here. I'm going here. And he's like, yo, I see something. He's like, all right, you just trust him. Because you just know, like, when you watch Troy throughout the week, all he's doing is this every single second. He's got this iPad just watching film. So you would know that he's as smart as your coaches. He's going to know and see certain things. But at the same time, because of who he was, I just think physically that body started to decline. And that was the thing that I noticed. Wasn't really practicing because it was like, yo, he had to get his body back ready for Sunday. But it would take a while. You see him in the pool, stretching, doing all this type of stuff. And I just think that at that stage, when you're trying to do some of the gambling that he was doing on the field, that's where it gets in trouble. So I can see like the perception being like, oh, man, he don't want to give up this power. I don't think it was a power thing. I think just for him, he sees what he sees. And his playing style is, bro, I don't want to just sit back here and let you know that that's what it is. I want to show this so I can trick you into that. But when you lose that step or when you can't keep making those same plays or the pieces around you, because remember the DBs who were transitioning through, you can't tell.
That defense wasn't the same in general.
Right,
Yeah,
so
this
you
wasn't
can't
Prime
tell
Harrison
this
or
young guy,
Woodley
right?
rushing either.
It's times where he's telling young dude, hey, bro, you go here, I'm going to get that. And the young boy doesn't even know what he's supposed to be doing before you even get to, hey, bro, take my job, I'm going to take your job. So when that's going on, that's when the rule midway through became, bro, you got to ignore Troy. y'all can't listen to Troy because everybody around here isn't on the same. I promise you, that's what it was. Because Troy in the game, bro, it didn't matter week 10. Troy's like, hey, bro, go. It's coming here. But he's like, bro, if your job is to go here, he's like, no, you have to go there because we don't know if this person knows what they're doing. So when Troy does this and now you blow that coverage, you can't say it was Troy told me no. And that's what it was becoming ultimately, man. So yeah, but like major love to him, bro. He was smart as heck and he still has that knowledge. I just think when you're transitioning though from elite caliber defenses where he was coming out of to that phase that we was transitioning through in 14, that's a way. Think about 14, 15, bro. That's way different than where we are now. Heck, way different than pre-Shazier getting injured in 17. Night and day. And I just think for him, man, it was just.
I guess that's what I mean. Would he have been willing to? I think he would stay at a spot, like stay at a traditional.
I don't think he would have
stayed
at a. I think that's the thing. I don't think that's who he was as a player.
Because that would have been better than whoever we had for 15 and 16.
It definitely would have. But I just think that you're basically telling a player that is used to playing and coloring outside the lines to, hey, use this stencil and be real, just right here the whole time. I don't know.
Would have been awkward.
Yeah, I don't know because he made a ton of plays, even that final year, a ton of plays.
And he's probably thinking too, I'd be fine in 15. I'd be fine this next year if I was healthy. Yeah. Like I was the only reason maybe my play's lacking a little is obviously I'm hurt. You guys see I'm missing practice. I'm working my ass off to get out there on Sundays. Yeah. Just imagine if I could be fully healthy. I'll be back to a portion of what I was.
Right.
Don't worry about that.
Or even when you're talking about just the corners that was around too, man. Think about it, 15. Who was our corners, man? At one point, shout out to my dog. We had Bryce McCain and I want to say Antoine Blake. God. He was starting at one point out there for us.
Cockrell was probably
Ross. We traded for Ross Cockrell, if I remember, and that was a big deal. It was like, oh, we got us a tall corner now. Great. Yeah, like that was the personnel groupers that we was having in the back end, bro.
Terrible.
Chill, don't do him like that.
It was terrible.
Don't do him like that. But yeah, that's what we was dealing with. So it was a lot during that phase. Remember, they paid Cortez Allen thinking he was going to be the answer. He goes down in 14 and never gets back to being the same. So the guy that you think is going to replace Ike Taylor isn't there. Ike gets hurt. So now you going down these lists of, bro, all right, yeah, you get a chance. All right, now you're going to get a start. All right.
I actually had fond memories of Cockrell being out there. It wasn't pretty, but he scrapped.
Man,
I appreciated
Blake
his
too, bro. Hey, Blake, bro, pull up the Cincinnati Bengals game. If you want to know, pull up the Cincinnati Bengals game, man. Watch my man force turnovers out there, bro.
Yeah, I remember him getting more burnt though than Cockrell.
Yeah, well, Cockrell's a better player. Cockrell's also drafted higher, also. Think about Cockrell's a 4th round draft pick.
Was he?
Yeah, he just got cut in Buffalo, and then we traded him out of Buffalo and we brought him here. Blake was undrafted free agent out of Utah, man. Went from being a gunner on special teams to turn into a slot to ultimately getting starts outside with Ducey. Willie Gay. That's who I was like, who's the other guy? Willie Gay was the other starter, bro. Great slot, but that was our outside guy. And instead of Blake playing slot or gunner, he's playing outside guy. That's, bro.
We were down bad.
Think what we got corners at 6'1", 6'2". Them boys is 5'9", 5'10". Yeah.
And that wasn't even Willie Gay in his prime. Although, didn't he have that one season like 5 picks?
Yeah, he had the pick sixes, yeah. And we're going to celebrate now.
Yeah, but still, that was him. What was he at that point? Early 30s?
Yeah.
Whereas, like, in his prime, that's when we won Super Bowl 43. Right. Mm-hmm. He was a really good slot, like, during that time, like you said.
Yeah. So that was the thing. I'm just like, we were going through a lot of that, man, in terms of just trying to get the back end to match the front end to match the back end. But when you have players that lasted as long as they did prior to Troy, Debo, Woodley, Foot, right? All these different dudes, man. Then on the back end, all these different guys, it's like, yo, you can't replace them all at the same time. But we try and make that thing work, man.
Yeah, very interesting time.
Man, definitely try to make that thing work.